Hi, this time I want to talk about some crucial ideas in openings. This can be easily neglected by opponents, so if your opponents play carelessly, you can do this to your advantage. Some of you might have been told you shouldn't push the rook pawn twice too early, but didn't know exactly why. And here's the why. If your opponents do this, you can go straight to the square, and it discourages your opponents to go for slow games, because in slow games static rook camp tends to be lopsided, right? Generals are too saturated on the left side, and once it loses the balance early on the stage, you can even initiate the attack. So that's why this is a good position. It's good to be able to do that without losing one move, right? Some people might wonder why not a fourth file or third file first. And let's say black wants to go for anaguma, like this. I talked a lot about the similar position in the previous video, but in that video, ranging rook side was black actually, and black had to play rook to 7-8 first, and then rook to 8-8. But here, since his rook is already here, white can play just like Sente. It also naturally works out well against some rapid strategy. Let's say here, like pawn to 4-5 rapid engage. But there is nothing to worry about, because the idea is to remove this bishop by trading it and then break through the second file, or drop the bishop on the fourth file, for example. But neither of those will happen, because your rook is already here. Now your ideal shape is built. Even if black tries to attack, you can simply take it, and after the trade, knight recaptures, and there is no follow-up for black. It's also possible for black to go for left silver rapid attack. In this case, you will have to take a different measure. If you play carelessly, like silver to 4-3 and then go to 5-2, then a black can initiate the attack like this. You would protect the pawn like this, right? But black can just keep going. If your rook is here or here, pawn to 4-5 would have been a great counter push, but since your rook is here, it's left behind, and it's not working so well. Instead of silver to 4-3, I would recommend rook to 3-2 first. If he chooses to go for pawn to 4-5 rapid engage, silver to 4-3 would be great. If he tries to attack, you can relocate your rook to 4-2, because it's already a good idea to put your rook on the file where a battle begins, right? And since your gold is still here, it can go to the left to brace for the bishop trade and pawn trade on the second file. So it can work as a great defender. And what if he still goes for silver, left silver rapid attack? Then again, silver to 4-3 is a good move. If he attacks, you can recapture and silver develops. Then you can annoy a little bit by dodging. If silver develops, then you can offer bishop trade. If he accepts it, rook recaptures, attacking the silvers. And if he drops back with the silver, go to 3-2 is a great one. It can protect us 2-2 square, so it's great. If he tries to attack your rook, you can fight back. If he accepts it, silver recaptures. If he still tries to stay on the diagonal, you can form the Ishida style position. It's very stable. This might be scary because if rook takes it, then you will lose the silver, but you can give up the lance by taking the silver by your silver like this. And then go to 3-1 is a calm move, and there is no good follow-up for black. Black can also go for climbing silver, but again, it's okay. This bishop drop is cool, and it's difficult for black to defend against the diagonal. If rook runs, silver advances before you promote the bishop to 1-9. What if he blocks the diagonal by pawn to 5-5? Then again, this Ishida style position is great. After the silver develops, knight jump. If black keeps going, then you can capture the pawn. This isn't so great for black because you can launch succeeding pawn drop strategy. Then he will lose either the silver or rook, so not so great for black. Even if he offers rook trades, you can accept it. Then you get to drop the rook first. Now the silver isn't working well, and now it's the target, right? Then you can also pick up these minor pieces and drop them around the bishop. And obviously your camp is more solid, so white is in a good shape. All the way. Black can simply go for climbing silver here. This time you can push the edge pawn to kick the silver. Of course, he wouldn't back down, and instead he keeps moving. Instead of taking it, you can take the silver, then offer the rook trade. Now it looks like you are losing the balance, but that's okay. You can use the extra silver and to invest it in the defense. If he drops the rook right there, silver to 3-2 is a great defensive move. Rook to 3-1, then bishop to 2-2 is great. If dragon runs, you can take the lance, and next rook drop to 9-8 would be so great. Actually, this is a threat mate, so that's not good for black, right? But even if he takes the bishop, that's okay. Black has lost the silver, right? And with only 2 bishops, he can continue attacking because there is no effective squares in the white's camp. If it allows for white can also relocate these generals close to the king to get even better. Black could keep going by bishop drop to 3-1, creating the fork, but you can give up the pawn and drop the rook right here. Then you can win the knight. And Black will be able to promote his bishop to 5-3, but the horse does nothing. It's ineffective. And next you can drop rook right here, or promote pawn to 3-7, or dragon to 1-9 will be a good idea. Or you can just drop the rook to 8-8. That's also possible. But anyway, white has more options, but black doesn't. So white is fine. But of course, before you commit serious actions to finish your opponents up, like I said, you can also bring these generals close to your king to form a better defense. Alright, that's for this video. This type of opening is pretty rare these days, even among amateur players, and this will probably never happen, but I decided it's worth talking about anyway. I hope it's been helpful, and as always, thanks for watching and see you all next time. Bye!